Hey guys, so in this lesson, you're going to be making a Google website. It's actually going to be about your birthdays. I want you to learn all about your birthdays. I had previously already made a Google website tutorial. Wait for the bell to stop. And instead of re-recording it, I decided to kind of cheat a little bit and try to just edit out portions of the previously made video. So if it seems like the video is a little choppy, that's probably why. Also, before you can make the birthday website, which will be your final product, I want you to make kind of like a sample website just so you can learn the ins and outs of how to create a website using Google Sites. So for this initial starter website, you can pick any topic you want to experiment with designing of your website. But then the actual finished product, you're going to be creating a website all about your birthday. So anyways, go ahead and follow these steps in this next tutorial and just pick any topic you want.
Hey guys, it's Mrs. Mason here, and this is a tutorial on Google Sites. So the first thing you're going to want to do to create your Google site is go to your Google Drive. If you don't know how to do that, normally when I go, I just type Google Drive into the search bar, and then the first option that comes up, you're going to want to go ahead and click on that. And then you're going to hit Go to Google Drive. When it's asked you to sign in, you're going to sign in with your Little Miami Schools email address. If you don't know what your email address is, it should be your last name followed by your first name with no spaces, and then at littlemiamischools.com. Not mine. Make sure you put yours in there. And then it's going to ask you to put in it might ask you to put in your password. If it doesn't, you're good. If it does ask you to put in your password, that's just going to be your lunch code or your school ID. Once you get into your Google Drive, you're going to go to New, and you're going to have to select More down here at the bottom of the menu, and then you're going to scroll till you see the purple icon here that says Google Sites, and you'll go ahead and select that. And once you've selected that, you should see your Google site here appear. All right, what I want you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and pause this screencast, and I want you to go ahead and follow the steps I just showed you to set up your initial Google site. Pause it now. All right, welcome back. Now that you have set up your site, the first thing you're going to want to do is title it. So right here where it says Untitled Site, that's where you are going to type in your title. Obviously, your title needs to have something to do with what your website is about. I'm just going to do a fake site on Old English Bulldogs because I have an Old English Bulldog. So once you type it in there and you click out of it, you will see that it also appears there. Same thing, it just shows the title of your site in both places. Go ahead and pause the video and type in the title to your site. Couple tips: make sure that it is capitalized, the words of your title are capitalized, and that you spell them properly. All right, next we are going to look at this is going to be your home page of your website. A couple things you can do to change that to fit your needs or your likes. You can hit the header type here. Typically, by default, it is on banner, which is what I personally prefer. You can change that to large banner, or you can change it to title only. I'm going to keep mine on banner because, like I said, I think that one looks the best, but again, it's up to you. I'll show you in a minute how you can change the image. But as for your title of your page, go ahead and click in there. I'm just going to title mine Old English Bulldogs again, and there's a few different options you have here to change the way that looks. You can select that title drop down arrow, you can change it to normal text, you can change it to the heading size, or you can change it to subheading. I like the title option because your title is nice and big on your homepage, and that's usually how you want it. But you can also change the alignment, or sometimes they call it the justification. You can make it left-hand aligned, centered, or right-hand aligned, or you can choose the column option there. I'm going to choose the centered option. Now, some of you might be like, that's it? That's all we can do with this? Yes. Google Sites is very simple. You can't change the colors of the fonts. You can't change the size. You can't change what they call the font family from like Times New Roman to Comic Sans. It might be frustrating to some of you, and at first I found that frustrating too. But after a while, I realized that it's actually, in this case, less is more. When you're done with this, you will have a good-looking website that has similar features to it, similar fonts, similar sizes, and that's actually what makes a good website. So, yes, it's pretty simple. After you have typed in your title, you can take this text box here and you can drag these sides out if you want. So you can make it so it all goes on one line. You can shorten it as much as you want. And then let's say I wanted to shorten that. Whoops, not letting me do that, is it? Okay, and then you can move the text box. So notice when I take my cursor here, see how it goes from the arrow to the crossbar? That means, once it's on this crossbar here, that means I can click and drag this box. And then the other really cool feature is notice that there's like that blue highlighted area in the background. That shows you where the box will be dropped. And you can use those lines there that are on the side to kind of line it up to where you want it. I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag mine back to the center. Drop it, and that's where I personally think it looks the best. So go ahead now, pause the video, and take a second to get your title in there and kind of mess around with it a little bit and get it to how you like it and how you want your home page to look. Pause now. All right, now that you've got your title in there, you can also change this background image. So if you want to change that, you can hit Change Image. You can select an image from a gallery of image that they have for you to choose from. You can also search in this feature here. A lot of times you can just search in like backgrounds. And a really cool feature aesthetically, which means how does your website look? Is it appealing to the eye? Most websites kind of have like a color scheme to them. So I like that when you use the search feature, let's say your color scheme is like, I don't know, green. You can click that green and it will come up with different green backgrounds that you can use throughout to kind of make it look nice and appealing to your audience's eyes. So you could pick one of those very easily. Let's say I pick this one, then I would just hit select, and you'll notice that it will appear there for you. Now, the other really, really cool thing that Google does is if you hover over these little star diamond looking things here, Google automatically adjusts your images to help with readability. Readability is very important with websites. You have to be able to read your words clearly to get your message across. You can click that and take away the readability adjustment, but you will notice that when you do that, in this case, it didn't affect it too deeply, but sometimes you'll notice that it really does make the words difficult to read when you take away that readability. So I would recommend that you just leave that readability adjustment on at all times. So the other thing you can do, because sometimes you cannot find what you're looking for by selecting from their images, so the other thing that you can do is find an image off of Google and use it. So the way that you would do that, open up a nice fresh tab. I'm going to type in whatever it is I'm looking for, and I'm going to go to images here. Let's say I want to put him in the background there of my header. So the first thing you have to do is save that image to your computer, and then we'll upload it from our computer into our website. So once I selected the image, I right-clicked on it, and now I'm going to select Save Image As. I typically save my images to my Pictures folder. If it doesn't have a title there that I can recognize easily, I will retitle it. I'm going to put Old English Bulldog, OEB, and I'm going to hit Save here. So now that my image is saved to my computer, I can head back over to my website. And this time I would select Change Image, and this time I'm going to be uploading that image from my computer. So I would go to my Pictures again, there it is, double click on it, and then you'll see that it will appear there in my background. And notice how much the readability changed that image. At that point, you have to determine, do you think that is a good image or not? Notice this time if I select removed readability adjustment, that actually isn't that bad. But when it initially went in there and the text was black, it was a lot harder to read. So in this case, I might actually keep it like this, because if I hit adjust for readability, I don't really like that the image was so dark in the background, although it does make the text pop. You kind of want your text to pop, so it's super easy to read. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to have you pause it again, and I would like for you to go ahead and enter in either your background image or your background picture. Pause it now.